here in New York City. As you can see, we're just heading over to the Meta Studios, but never mind that. If you've seen the news, you're probably thinking, what is going on? What in the wild world is Deontay Wilder thinking? Correct, Deontay Wilder, the boxer, the knockout artist, the man with a professional boxing record of 43-2 with 42 knockouts. Yes, at heavyweight. He's coming over to mixed martial arts, not the PFL. He wants to fight Nate Diaz. Nathan Diaz, a man that just lost to Jake Paul. A man that never showed up against Jake Paul, a man that I don't think particularly took it even seriously. But Deontay Wilder wants to come over to mixed martial arts. He's been doing it for 7 months, so I'm sure he's bloody brilliant at grappling in that time. And he's calling out Nate Diaz. He's calling out a lightweight. He's calling out a welterweight at best. What is he thinking? Listen, I'm a big fan of Deontay Wilder. I love the excitement that he brings to the octagon. Remember that fight, that draw with Tyson Fury? That was phenomenal. That's when I became a fan. Wasn't a fan of the next 2 times where he lost and then came out with every excuse under the sun. His suit of armor was too heavy. It drained his legs, okay? Well, you're gonna need stronger legs, bro. You got legs like toothpicks, okay? Start doing some deadlifts, start doing some squats, and start learning how to bloody wrestle. You need to put some meat on your pal. Or, should I say, you need to slim down. Or Nate Diaz needs to bulk up, one of the two. That fight will not even get sanctioned. There's absolutely no way Nate Diaz going up against Deontay Wilder in a mixed martial arts fight should or would, in my humble opinion, get sanctioned. We've got here the Professor Adam Catterall.
The Professor.
From the Fight Disciples, the boxing expert, Adam. Deontay Wilder calling out Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Immediate thoughts?
Ridiculous. Listen, Deontay Wilder in 4-ounce gloves is exciting.
Very exciting.
But as you rightfully pointed out, he's only been doing it a short period of time.
7 months.
He's a guy that has been competing at 230 pounds plus. All right, he's a slimmer version of the big heavyweights.
He is.
But
Get the background in, John. Get the background in.
as you've just said, Nate Diaz has been, what, a career 155er. I know he's done a bit at 170, but it's ridiculous regarding the weight disparity. However, I know that we're thinking that this maybe from a UFC point of view, but the PFL have got this new division, haven't they?
They do.
They've never actually come
The
out.
pay-per-view division
Yes.
that Ngannou's going to be a part of, that
Jake
Jake Paul
Paul.
is going to be a part of,
Right.
that Deontay Wilder's going to be a part of.
They've never actually come out and said about a weight division for that pay-per-view thing. Would they sanction? Would the PFL sanction a fight with a former heavyweight boxing champion at what, 220, 230 pounds in weight against a mixed martial arts jiu-jitsu whiz?
Well, that would be
Nate
laughable. That would be laughable, but let's be honest. Listen, Deontay Wilder, who knows if he's serious about this, right? He might just be trying to make some noise, get some headlines, get the biggest YouTube channel in the game talking about it, because that's what's happening. Nate Diaz ain't going to take it, but he's not even taking a fight against Jake Paul. I mean, what's all that about? I mean, he's been offered apparently somewhere in the region of $15 million to fight Jake Paul
In MMA?
In MMA, and the director, the CEO, whatever, Don Lemon, that's him from CNN, something Lemon or Don someone, whatever. I don't know his name
Are
clearly.
you talking about the guy at PFL?
Yeah.
Don. It's Don. I can't remember his surname.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We're moving on from the names. He's saying that Nate Diaz is hiding under a rock. Nate Diaz is being scared and he doesn't want to fight Jake Paul in MMA. I think the reason Nate Diaz doesn't want to fight Jake Paul in MMA is just because he's sick of the association. Why would he want to do that?
Yeah,
I think he
fair.
was embarrassed boxing Jake Paul. That's why he walked out of the press conference. He's a guy that's a cult-like figure in all of mixed martial arts. He's got a ridiculous fan base,
Yeah.
and he's got a great spirit and a great attitude towards the fight game.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to take on a beginner like Jake Paul. Number one, could you imagine?
Mate,
Whoa, easy, Tiger. We're doing a video over here.
he'd ragdoll him, mate.
Well, if he lost to Jake Paul, though, that'd be bad.
He wouldn't.
The ship would be sinking.
He wouldn't lose to him.
It would be at the bottom of
He
the
wouldn't.
ocean.
He
Well,
would.
could you imagine?
Yeah, but it wouldn't happen.
Jake Paul doesn't wrestle. Nate Diaz isn't the best wrestler.
No.
He's got very good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He couldn't beat him on the feet. He didn't beat him on the feet. We've seen that in boxing.
Yeah, but he ain't beating him in a mixed martial arts
He
contest.
doesn't kick very well. He's not a bad kick. He can kick better than Jake Paul, but he's not like a bloody an Edson Barboza. Let's be honest.
Nate Diaz would choke him out.
Nate Diaz choke him out.
Yeah.
Well, I bloody well hope so, if that
Yeah.
does happen. But he's not taking on Jake Paul, so he's not going to take on Deontay Wilder. What's else going on in the world of MMA? I mean, obviously this weekend, we've got 295 Tom Aspinall. We've been talking about that at length, ad nauseum. What else should we get into real quick? We've got a few minutes to kill. I'm just going to do this. MMA, we're going to look at the news. We're going to see what the big story is. We're going to see what the big story is. Nate Diaz, Deontay Wilder expressed interest in MMA fight. Done that. We just spoke about that.
Do you want to see Deontay Wilder in MMA?
I kind of would. I want to see a boxer come over to
Yeah,
MMA.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, we had James Toney. And fair play to James Toney. He was the original. He came back, he fought Randy Couture back in the day, got choked out. Other than that, we haven't seen that. And
Well, you've got a female fighter in Clarissa Shields. She's come
oh,
over.
yeah.
She's done a bit.
Fair play. Thank you for bringing that up, Clarissa Shields. Because, you know, up until Francis Ngannou just had that incredible performance,
Yeah.
the word on the street was, oh, these MMA guys can't fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
now Francis proved that we can. Francis also potentially made Deontay and all those other heavyweights look bad. This generation of boxers, heavyweight boxers,
Yeah.
what are we saying?
It's nothing like the 1990s or the 1970s, mate. It is. You've got one or two guys that you could probably class as elite lads, and that's obviously Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, and I'm just going off the eye test there. Everybody else is probably just a touch below them, and when I say everybody else, you've got two fighters in Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua that you'd probably put there.
Camera's over there.
Sorry, pal.
Direct attention to the
So-
camera
sorry,
and the
mate.
microphone.
Sorry, mate. And then the
It's
rest,
okay.
and then the rest of it, they're another rung down. So when you like,
Your
me-
Chisoras, your Dillian
yeah,
Whites.
they're a rung underneath that. Absolutely a rung underneath that. When you look at the 1990s and you go, Lennox, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Riddick Bowe, these guys, they were all on the same pecking order. Nobody knew at the start of that era who the main guy was. Obviously, Lennox comes out and he was the main guy of that era by the end of the 1990s. But we don't have that era now. So I'm not surprised that maybe Deontay's making a little bit of noise about MMA, given the fact that him versus Francis Ngannou is very exciting.
Yep.
Both of those guys in 4-ounce gloves is very exciting. And both of those boxing now is also very exciting. So, you know.
Do we think, and am I losing the plot on this, as I do often, you know, but I'm a romantic.
Go on.
Seeing what Francis Ngannou just did.
Yeah.
And knowing that Tom's fighting at the weekend and potentially, and hopefully, no offence, I'm a big fan of Sergey as a person and a fighter, but he's one of the boys. Hopefully he gets the job done at the weekend. And he's sparred hundreds of rounds with Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Do we think Tom Aspinall could go over to the boxing heavyweight division and make some real noise?
Yes.
Yeah?
No doubt about it in my mind.
No doubt about it.
His footwork is absolutely exceptional, and he doesn't waste anything, does he?
No, he doesn't.
I know that obviously then you're taking away other things that he's brilliant at, jiu-jitsu and what have you, but he is a very, very talented boxer.
So basically, Tom's going to walk up and go, step aside, Butch. What film is that from?
Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
No, Pulp Fiction, in the middle of a very, very traumatic scene. You know what I mean? When
I'm not a movie buff.
You've never seen Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, I have seen it.
Step aside, Butch, and then Bruce Willis is there with a samurai sword. And something's happening. I don't want to get into it. We'll get thrown off YouTube. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about. He says, are you okay? He says, no. I'm pretty effing far from okay. And I'm not surprised judging what he just went through. But anyway, enough about that. New York City, we're also almost at the Meta Studios. Favourite thing about New York City?
Madison Square Garden and UFC fight nights, mate. I know that sounds cheesy, but that's exactly why we're here. Come on. It always delivers, doesn't it?
I love the energy. I love the vibrancy. Do you know what I love most about New York City? The people. The people are real. They've got real personality. They bust balls, great sense of humour, hard-working, working-class people. I mean, all right, you got your Wall Street types and all the rest of it, but that's what makes a city, a multicultural, metropolitan city like this so great.
Lovely.
But real New Yorkers are my type of people. Anyway, we're pulling up. Subscribe, ring the bell, and let's go, Tom.